Surprise, I'm a lesbian. See, look. I even have a cat. Anyways, let's get into the video. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Aime and I make videos about sustainability and also sometimes just about me as a person. I've been wanting to post this video basically all month. It is Pride Month. Today is the 28th. Okay, so basically today's video is going to be about sexuality and my experience. This video isn't very whiskey. Okay, thank you. Yeah, this video is basically just a whiskey. Stop it. I guess he knows English. I guess you could call this like a coming out video, even though I literally used to have a pride flag in the back of my YouTube videos. Today's video, I guess I'm just actually talking about my experience growing up queer in an African community and some of the struggles that I've been through and some of the things that I've learned. Basically an anecdote, a little mini bio, just focused on sexuality. But literally in the US right now, it's possible that gay marriage might actually be repealed and being gay in general might become illegal. If you told me that like 5 years ago, I'd be like, oh, that's completely insane. We're moving in a positive direction. They can't just make gay people illegal. But with the Supreme Court makeup right now and with what happened with Roe v. Wade, it is now possible. So I want to share kind of some of the things that I've had to go through and kind of my journey when it comes to sexuality. But first, happy Pride. I hope you guys had a good Pride month if you went to Pride. I did go here in Paris, but I worked that same day, so it wasn't the most fun day. I went to the Pride Parade for like an hour and a half or 2 hours, and then I went to work for like 4 hours, and then I went out with my friends, and after work, when I was out with my friends, it was so much fun. The metro in Paris during Pride, literally the gayest thing I've ever seen. Going out after work was a lot of fun. I also went to Châtelet for a little bit, which is like the city center, and it was also a lot of fun. So much gayness everywhere, so it was a fun day. Let's talk about growing up queer. The first time that I ever kind of started to realize that I am a gay was kind of around middle school, which makes sense because it's around puberty, and it's when you kind of start to contextualize like, oh, this is what I'm attracted to, like I think these people are cute or whatever. 11 to 13 is like middle school, so this was around like 2011, and around that time being gay was just, it was like socially acceptable to be homophobic, to the point where even some of my closest friends at the time in middle school were very homophobic. But I myself like was so repressed in my sexuality that I would like be uncomfortable with it, but not to the point where I would be like, oh, they're making fun of me. I'd be like, that's kind of terrible, like stop making fun of gay people, like don't do that. But because I was around so many homophobic people, including my family, might I add, it was hard for me to accept my own sexuality because I did not want to become the oppressed, basically. Especially like being a black person, like obviously I can't hide my skin color, so if people are racist to me, I can't hide that. But with sexuality, it's a lot easier to hide it. When it came to sexuality, I was able to basically convince myself I was straight.
Child. Anyway, so
for so long, basically from middle school until like my senior year of high school when I was like 18, that's only when I was like, okay, yeah, you are not straight. I basically was like, okay, I feel like I'm bi because I'm definitely attracted to men. And now that I think about it, I really don't think I am. I do feel like sexuality is a spectrum and most people are somewhere in the middle, and not that many people are like completely gay or completely straight. So I feel like I'm definitely on the spectrum, but so far to the end of just being a lesbian, because it's really rare that I'm attracted to a man, and I think I'm more attracted to men specifically when they're attracted to me, or if it's like really feminine presenting men. I just realized like in this video I've been talking in very like gendered terms, but basically I'm attracted to femininity and mostly just attracted to women. And at the time that I came out, I thought I was more on the bi spectrum and it was more equal, but I've grown to realize, as I've kind of had more experiences like dating, I've just come to realize that women are just cream of the crop. I just love femininity, basically. That's why I label myself as a lesbian. Yeah, so that's kind of my my trajectory when it comes to sexuality. Now I want to talk a little bit about my coming out. So first of all, I feel like when it comes to coming out, it's definitely something that happens in stages. You don't just come out once. You come out to different people when you're ready. You start with who you're comfortable with and then it grows. So for me, the first person I ever came out to was my friend Lydia in college. Basically what happened was, it was actually during coming out month in October of 2018, my first semester of college. I just somehow attract gays. All of my like closest friends in college were basically queer. They were all openly gay basically, and I was closeted at the time. They were gonna go to a drag show for coming out month, and I was like, oh, that sounds fun. Like, they didn't invite me because like they didn't know, but I was like, oh, that sounds really fun, can I come? And then jokingly she was like, I mean, yeah, you can come, you'll be like the only straight one there. And I was like, at the time I was like, okay, should I do it? I feel like it's not like she's gonna judge me for coming out. Either later that day or the next day I texted her, I was like, so remember when you said I was straight? I'm actually not. That's like the first person I told, and then like around that same time, like that week, I started telling other people, and after that, I never really came out to people, but it was more like if I was just talking to someone, I'd be like, oh yeah, I went on a date with this girl, or like I'd say something and people were like, oh wait, are you queer? So I never, after that, I never really like outwardly told someone like, hey, I am gay. It would just be like from things that I say.
Hey, excuse me. Yeah? Oh, I just wanted to say I really like your style.
But at the same time, I hadn't come out to my family or anyone back home yet. So I texted one of my friends from high school that I'm going on a date, and she asked me like, oh, is he cute? Like, who is it? And I specifically like gave her like a guy's name and was using like he, him pronouns, just so I wouldn't have to like tell her that it was a girl that I went on a date with. But I kept everything else the same, which I think is so funny. Like, obviously now I would never do that, but it's really sad having to basically hide who you're dating and like who you're going out with just for fear of retaliation and for fear of being judged. But that's kind of what I had to do at the time. So this was probably around 2018. By the end of my college career, it was stressing me out so much. Like, I really wanted to come out to my parents. I was literally so depressed, and that was one of the main things, having to hide my sexuality and knowing that when I did come out, I'd probably lose my entire family, specifically my parents or like cousins and grandparents who were way more conservative and religious. I was not wrong, sadly. In 2020, I graduated college. I moved to Paris, blah blah blah, I moved back home, and then summer of 20, Whiskey, stop. You can't do that. Summer of 2021, I was back home, and this is when I was like, okay, I feel like it's now or never. I went to the Pride Parade in my hometown, and I came home, and I had been gone like the whole day, and my parents were really strict actually, but I had been gone like the whole morning. And I came back and I went straight to my room. My mom like was asking so many questions like, where were you, what were you doing? And I was trying to like block them off, but after a while I was like, I'm just gonna tell her. Yeah, I told her, and then she's like, are you kidding? I was like, yeah. And I'm not gonna completely go through everything we talked about that day. Basically, she was like, no, you're not. You can't be gay. Like, who's the husband in the relationship? Just like a lot of like stereotypical like conservative talking points when it comes to sexuality. And I was honestly laughing the whole time. I think at the time she didn't think I was serious. After like a week or so, my parents kind of realized like I was not kidding. Actually, my mom didn't even tell my dad until like a week, when I was like, yes, I am still gay. So I came out to my parents. That's my coming out. Do you guys see the face? I just realized that is so creepy actually. So the last part of this video, I'm just going to be talking about some things that I wish I knew or some things that I've learned. You never come out just once. You will literally do it for the rest of your life. Especially because we live in a heteronormative society. Everyone is just always going to assume that you are straight. Especially if you look like me. Some people are so outwardly queer looking. I don't know if that's a good way of saying it. Some people just look gay. I am not one of those people. So people just assume I'm straight. The other thing that I've had to learn as a queer woman is that you will be 1,000,000% fetishized. And at first this would just be like little things like, oh, if I told a man like I was lesbian, they would say things like, oh, that's so cute, I love that, can I watch shit like that? That's like, what? I've had experiences where women who have boyfriends are perfectly fine like making out with me because their boyfriend is okay with it, but if they made out with a man then it would be wrong, which to me is kind of weird. Like, that's almost like making like women kissing as like not actually sexual. It's like, oh, that's just, I don't know how to explain it, but I think it's weird when straight women with boyfriends are in a committed relationship but they can kiss women and not men. In my head it's fetishizing lesbian relationships. Also, there's now been twice where I've been making out with someone at like a bar or a club and then I start being filmed by a stranger, a person who I do not know is just filming me for no reason. I also can't complain too much. When it comes to the LGBT community, my struggle is definitely not as bad as like black trans women, for example, or like people who are non-binary. I'm not sure really how to end this video. I hope it was fun and enlightening and you got to hear kind of my story. And I sound like I'm like choking on my lungs right now, and it's because my nose is so stuffed and I can barely breathe. Thank you for watching this video. I hope I get like 1,000,000 views from this, because back in the day whenever anyone made like a coming out video, they would get like 1,000,000 views. I don't know what's going on with my romantic life. I don't know honestly what's going on with most of my life. That being said, I do have to go to work, so this video has to end here. And why is the sun behind the clouds? Yeah, so that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope next time, the next video I film, my voice does not sound like this. But yeah, happy Pride. I hope you guys had fun this month and did all the gay things. My favorite meme, which I couldn't relate to this year luckily, but last year my favorite meme was the one that's like, Pride month is halfway through and I haven't done any gay shit. And luckily this year I was able to do a lot of gay things, but still my favorite meme. I think it's hilarious. That's it for this video. I'll see you in my next one. Bye everyone.